Hey everybody, Stu Smith here, going live. Hope you guys are well this Monday morning. I know I'm a little bit early, but schedules are schedules. Um, got a busy one today, so I may not be able to stick here for the whole hour. So I'm getting started so I can try. All right, so question as you guys congregate, and then we'll take some questions afterwards. My question to you guys is, how do you structure your workouts? Think about a week of workouts. Are they more geared towards busting it out first thing in the morning every day, regardless of your work or school schedule? Do you have to make some of your weekday a rest day or because they're just too busy, long commutes, family commitments, you know, work all day, those type of things? Um, and are and then do you bump it over to the weekend to where you get a majority of your workouts in that Friday afternoon, Friday night, Saturday morning, Sunday morning trio of days that are typically well designed for longer workouts. So for people who, for instance, can't get to a pool during the week because the pool schedule and their work schedule just doesn't allow, a weekend in the pool may be very beneficial to you, especially if you're preparing for any of these, um, tactical jobs that require swimming and diving. But if you're just an old guy like me, you can definitely get in the pool and see some great benefits, resting the upper body, or sorry, resting the shins from running, adding some non-impact cardio is a great way to you know go into your 40s and 50s and 60s and beyond. So consider that an option. If running is starting to hurt you a little more than normal. Uh, so anyway, I'm just curious, where are you guys on this? A lot of folks like to take no rest days. I don't recommend that. I usually hit it pretty hard for the first 2 or 3 days of the week. By Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll throw in my mobility day there. You guys are probably familiar with that. If you haven't heard of mobility day, just type in the words mobility day and Stu Smith, and you'll see some articles I've been writing for the last 10 years because it has been life changing for me, going from thinking my hips are jacked up and I can't run anymore to being able to run as much as I prefer, which isn't much, but it is. I can run as much as I want. Um, I wouldn't say it's not little either. I think we're hitting like 26, 27 this week miles. um, so anyway, where are you? Where are you on that spectrum? And then the following 2 to 3 days after that mobility day, I usually hit a pretty solid workout, a longer workout on Saturday just because we can. And then I take Sunday off. Usually I spend Sunday walking, um, stretching, doing some foam rolling, maybe even some biking, just something easy. But anyway, that's how we do it, or how I do it. Now, the folks I train, I push a little bit differently depending on, one, their athletic history, two, their current fitness levels, and three, their goals that they want to achieve, whether that is a civilian older guy that's just trying to lose 50 pounds, or if it's a younger guy trying to go into special ops, and everybody in between. Oh, let's see. Somebody says, Justin says, I like to swim in the morning, then hit the rest after work. I like that too. That's a good way to break up, swimming, because a lot of times swimming first thing in the morning, that's a great way to wake up. It's about the only time in the day where pool schedules are open for folks that are avid swimmers anyway. You just get in a lane, circle swim, and just get it done 20, 30 minutes, and you're pretty good. I like that. And then get the rest after work. Good idea. Learning to change from weightlifting to cardio swimming and body weight work. There you go. Following the PST schedule. Good. That's a good transition, man. Cows and cardio from a former lifter is eye opening. And I think you'll see that when you start lifting again, that you'll have more endurance and muscle stamina for even more sets. So you have an ability to even get stronger when you do a lift cycle again. Let's see, 4 to 5 days on, then a mobility day feels best for me. I like that too, Dylan. I usually go 3 and then mobility day on the 4th day of the week. So Thursday and then Friday, Saturday is a higher mileage workout during our run cycle. And then Sunday I pull back and no running, mostly stretching, swimming, biking, nothing crazy, just loosening up, getting ready for Monday. How do you train guys specifically for land portage? Well, we do a lot of things. We actually have rucks, soft sand, sandbags, logs. We even have a boat people can put on their head and run with it. So that's how we do it. One of my favorite workouts we like to do is it's called the Sand Baby Devil Murph, and it is a mix of a Murph along with sandbags for overhead press and running with it on your shoulders and lunges. So it's kind of a mix of log PT, boat PT with a Murph and weighted runs. So we also run hills, bleachers, all of those things are really good for just building your legs to handle that kind of weight. But nothing's quite like running in soft sand with a ruck or some other kind of weight, whether it's a sandbag, a log, or a boat. Do you recommend total rest day apart from mobility day each week? I guess that depends. I mean, there are days where I know I need a day to do nothing, but I don't feel good doing nothing. So I will at least stretch, walk, do some yard work, just do something. Not like just lay on my back and do nothing. So I guess, when you say there's no rest days, I would call that a rest day, because I'm not breaking a sweat unless it's hot outside and I'm doing yard work. But typically my rest days involve hopping on my stationary bike, stretching, watching some TV, chilling out, nothing too crazy. Or going for a walk, and every park bench I see along the path that I walk, I stop, stretch, do some squats, toe touches, things like that. Let's see. What else? Other questions over here? Nope. What does your ideal everyday breakfast look like? I tend to eat a lot of cereal, and I feel like Reddit's not very beneficial. Well, it depends on what kind of cereal you're eating, I guess. I like cereal. I like Special K with strawberries in it. It's not too bad for you. There are better breakfasts for that. I don't do that often, but I usually do eggs, some form of meat, variety, everything from steak, chicken, steak, chicken, even bacon some days, and fruit. Fruit is probably my number one go-to breakfast. So pre-workout, I'll eat an orange or a banana, bring some water with me. Sometimes I'll bring either electrolyte pouch or Gatorade just for some added salts, but also the sugars in case I'm starting to bonk during the workout. And then after that, I'll eat my eggs and meat, fruit, carb up again, get ready for the swim that's coming up in the afternoon. I love swimming, especially when I'm tired or drained from the day. The cooler water wakes me up and I feel awesome afterwards. Yeah, you know what? I've always said, when we used to swim immediately after our morning workout, especially in the summer, it was like we had nothing left going into that pool, and everybody knew it. We're just like, I'm going to get through this workout somehow. And then in about 5 minutes, you cool down, your body's feeling better, and you get the second wind, and everybody's crushing the workout. So that's when I realized that half of my fatigue and everybody else's fatigue is pure body heat. So if you're hot, sweaty, jump in a pool, cool yourself down. Next thing you know, you get the second wind and you're ready to roll. So I agree with you. You're drained from the day, it can definitely wake you up. Nothing like being in the water for waking you up, whether it's end of the day or beginning of the day. For me, I like it at the beginning of the day. Just jump in the water, and I used to do that every day before high school. Just jump in the pool and wake up. Do you feel about the 26-week program, Seal Sick website? You know what? I haven't given it a lot of uh, thought or research or even looked at it. So I will take a look at it and give you my opinion of it. 9 times out of 10, I usually will say they're good. They're a good place to start. However, I think it could be more difficult and prepare you a little better for what you're actually going to endure. That's just my philosophy. If you're going to be training for, if you're going to be doing boats and logs, you should train for boats and logs. Doesn't have to look like a boat or a log, but you should be training with some load bearing activities. You should be doing high rep calisthenics. You should be running. You should be swimming with fins, practicing treading. All of those things you need to do. You don't want to like, oh, what's this? I've never treaded before. Now we got a tread test. You'd be surprised how hard treading is if you're not used to it. Let's see. I'm 24. Wanted this since 17. Been in and out of shape. Been hitting the workout hard last 5 months, closer than I've ever been to enlisting in Spec Ops, but I'm nervous. Yeah, you probably should be nervous. 5 months is good, but you may need more time, especially if you're coming at it from like multiple months or years of deconditioned time. Most people, maybe get a little deconditioned in between sports and activities, but, you know, if you've had significant amount of time off, you may need to treat yourself like a beginner again and rebuild yourself up. And it may take longer than 5, 6 months. It may take a year. I've had some people it took 18 months. The good news is you're 24. You're still young. You can get in shape pretty quickly. And you're a little more mature than the average 18-year-old. So you got some benefits going on there. But my advice for people is don't go like, I'm turning 18, I'm going to serve, or I'm turning 24, I'm going to the recruiter. Instead of setting yourself with an arbitrary date, why don't you set yourself up with a performance line? Like, when I reach this on the swim and the run and the lifts and the bikes or the calisthenics, that's when I'm going to go talk to a recruiter. People do themselves such a disservice by just joining and then saying, oh, what do I have to do to get in shape? Well, thanks for sending that over. I will take a look at it and give you comments off on DM. But I will tell you this, if you have, if the PST book that you have is difficult for you, then my advice would be probably to start off with something easier. Um, and that, if this book is too hard for you, start off with maybe the Seal Swick program first, and then go into that one. But I'll look at it and see. Let's see. Morning, Stu. Hope you're well. Would you recommend warming up for weightlifting, running, and swimming separately, or just warm up once? Seems redundant if I warm up 3 times. Yeah. I mean, if they're 3 separate workouts, then yes, you should warm up. But if you go and do a warm up, then weightlift, right? And then you go running immediately afterwards, and you go swimming immediately after that, you're already warmed up, ready to go. You might, jog a little bit and stretch a little, but yeah. If it's one big session, you're probably pretty good. If it's like, for instance, we just got through doing running this morning, track workout, stuff like that. And now we're not going to swim until 2 o'clock today. We will do a warm up at that 2 o'clock swim. But if we were swimming right after the run, we go right into swimming. What are your thoughts on incorporating rowing into your phase 1 book to replace running and biking? Yeah, sure. If you need to replace running and biking. Now, if you don't need to replace running and biking, my advice is do all the running, add some rowing to it. But if you're going to replace running because it's too much for you right now, do this. For every mile you miss of running in the program, do 10 minutes of rowing. That's my little ratio for running and non-impact cardio. And make it hard. It's not a walk in the park type of rowing either. I know you and Jeff are pretty close, but would you say are some different ideologies between you and both your training programs? Oh yeah, we definitely have different ideologies and ideas for sure. I'm definitely a higher volume running guy. He likes to run shorter, faster runs. I always tell people I have a way to train, not the only way to train, right? Anybody tells you that their way's the only way to train, they're lying and they're absolutists. Maybe to you it would be a perfect way to train. However, not everybody needs the same prescription for fitness. I think it's great that there are so many options out there that you need to take your time and figure out what is working for you. And a great way to do that is give yourself 6 weeks on a program. If you're seeing the results you want, good job. It's working for you. If you're not, you need to figure out what's wrong, maybe find a new program. Yep. No, but Jeff's a great guy. Let's see. What are your thoughts? Let me see. Just started week 5 from your beginner running program. The run walk has helped my trick knee a lot. Okay, good job, Noah. Glad it's working. I will tell you this. When it comes to running and walking and knees hurting, most of the time motion is lotion. You get moving, that knee's going to start feeling better. I can't tell you how many people I've helped, start training who said, yeah, I can't do squats. My knee hurts. I'm like, okay. A few months later, we're doing squats and his knee doesn't hurt. Do I work out fasted? I usually just wake up, drink some water, hit your workout program. However, I'm curious if you perform better if I tried to test for the PST if I ate something. Oh, absolutely. When you're going hardcore on your reps and times and maxing out, you definitely need some sugar in you. Whether that is Gatorade, during the workout, or it's some fruit, a little bit of carbs before the workout. Find something that works well for you. For me, it's a banana and one of those little tangerine oranges. Really good for me. I personally like those two. Fits my stomach well. Sometimes I'll eat an apple, um, and I'll take some um, some juice or something like that with me as well. Okay, let's see what's next. Pre-workout: 32 ounces of water, sandwich, wheat bread, peanut butter, banana, honey. Oh, I like all those too, except for the pre-workout. I don't do any of that stuff. Last thing I need is caffeine in my body, jacking up my heart rate before I go do running and swimming and working out. Let's see. Mixing up programs is very beneficial, whether it's Jeff and yours and someone else's, always, because everyone has something to offer. That's a good way to look at it. I like that idea. And you're right. And some things work better for you than and then won't work for others. Like we're sitting here talking about nutrition, preferences before workouts. I have my way. That may not agree with your stomach first thing in the morning. It might be great. Somebody likes doing pre-workout. I do not. You know, there's no right or wrong way to this. You just got to find what works for you. And I guess the way to determine right or wrong is that it's working for you. If it's working for you, it's right. If it isn't, it's wrong. All right, hang on 1 second. I seem to get much better results from bench press with push-ups afterwards versus a few hundred push-ups per week. What would you suggest for bench press progression? Keep adding weight, 5x5s, 3x8s. You know what? I personally like doing bench press and follow it up immediately with push-ups. Now, that is more of a push-up challenge, and here's why I like to do it, is because, instead of doing 2 minutes of push-ups, which is a lot of volume and a lot of burn, what you can do is do a good heavy bench press, moderately heavy, 5 to 8 reps, somewhere around there, where you couldn't do the next rep, but you didn't fail. And then you drop over on your stomach right off the bench, do as many push-ups as you can. You may only get 5, 6, 7 before it starts to really stick your chest to the ground. But what that does is it simulates those last 15, 20 seconds of that 2-minute push-up test. So give it a try, and you may see some increase in your performance for sure with push-ups, and you may even see some increased bench pressing, at least higher reps with body weight bench press for sure. All right, let's see what else. All right, I don't see any more questions. Jammed through those quickly, didn't I? So what's next for us? See, today we did a big track workout. It was a fun one. We did ran to the track, takes about a mile to get there. Ran the bleachers for 10 minutes, and then we did a workout I call 100 hundreds, which is basic. It's not 100 hundreds, it's 20 hundreds. You run 100 fast, 100 easy, just back and forth on the turf, and you do it every minute on the minute. And usually you have about 5-10 seconds rest in between each one. You do that for 10 minutes. And then after that, we did a mile for time. We did an 800 for time. And we did 2 400s. One was a goal pace, and the other one was for time, as fast as you could, 1 lap. And then we jogged back. So that was a good mix of leg endurance stuff, speed work, goal pace work. And today we'll swim. We'll do a little swim workout. Tomorrow's a full body day where we will do like a almost like similar to a Murph, but we add lunges and push presses to it. Same type of volume there. All calisthenics, running every set and move on from there. So we do have some more questions coming up here, it looks like. Just found out my liver enzymes are pretty high. I haven't been drinking, etc. Only thing different, I'm working out hard. I read that it can elevate your liver enzymes. Does that sound right to you? Yes, I've heard that as well. In fact, if you are really working hard, you could be, borderline rhabdo, where you may find, your muscles are breaking down a little bit. So make sure you're eating your protein. Maybe not failing in all of your reps every set of every week. Maybe do some sub max rep workouts. Increase the volume, but maybe just don't fail. You may see something better there. I am not 100% sure what's causing liver enzyme increase. Could be something else. You Google it, you'll probably be horrified with what you find. But I'm not a doctor, so talk to your doctor on that one and see what they recommend. Let's see. Do you have any standard for hip flexor strength? For example, what would be your recommended max rep strict toes to bar or muscular endurance max time flutter kicks? You know what? We do some hanging knee ups. I don't really have like a set standard. We just do, sets of 20 for 4 or 5 sets. And, some guys take their toes to the bar on that one. I bring my knees up to my chest. So we're not really like kipping to bring the feet up like that. It's just strict bringing knees up. Flutter kicks a big one. We do this trio of exercises. We do flutter kicks, leg levers, both legs together, and then we do scissors, right? Just open and closing your legs. And we do sets of 50, 50, 50. We'll do that twice. And then pretty much our gold standard for those 3 back to back to back, no rest, no feet on the ground, is 100, 100, 100. So 104 count flutter kicks, 100 up downs with leg levers, and 100 open closes with scissors. But build up to it. Start off with 50 of each. Rest in between. Then 50 of each with no rest in between. Try 50 of each twice. With some running in between or something, and then maybe try something else with try 100, 100, 100. See if you can get them all done without resting. Should we train with minimal sleep? No supplements, no caffeine to prepare for buds? Because I assume that would be the conditions we'll face in selection, or is that detrimental? Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. I mean, you want to train your body and mind for tough times, and you can play around with some of that stuff because sometimes you just don't sleep well and you get up and work out anyway. So I'm not too worried about that one. I don't think you need to purposely stay up all night and then not sleep and then go work out in the morning. I don't think that's really worth it. But I would definitely say limited caffeine for sure. No supplements. Especially if you're within a year of going. I mean, there's really no need to, crank up on the supplements because that can have a psychological detriment to your performance. Like you think you need it more than you actually need it. That's a good question, though. I like that one. I don't think it's necessary, but I think just life in general, working out 5, 6 days a week, is going to build you for what you need to do as far as toughness. You're going to have poor nights of sleep. Like 2 nights ago, I slept like crap and woke up and did a workout. Didn't feel like working out that morning, but did anyway and actually felt better afterwards. Took a nap afterwards, back on track. So, sometimes life gives you some of those things too. Yeah, my advice is just eat well, hydrate, electrolytes. If you need caffeine somewhere in the day, they don't restrict caffeine at Bud's. You can drink coffee in the morning if you want. Um, you're just not going to have pre-workout type coffee or levels of caffeine. If you had one push-up progression, what would you say? If I had one push-up progression, what would you say? I have multiple push-up progressions. For me, the one that started it off for me was the classic PT pyramid, right? And the classic PT pyramid allowed for me to go from powerlifting football player to like working up this little logical ladder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I couldn't get past 8, so I turned around and came back down. And then next few weeks, I got to 9, came back down. I got to 10. I was like, hey, let's keep on going. Got to 12, right? So eventually, for me, that was the progression that took a strength athlete into more of a muscle stamina workout. And I find it to be very helpful. So that sub-max rep sets and the max rep set workout, absolutely those three right there. In fact, I have an article called my 3 favorite workouts to crush PT tests. And guess what? It's all free right here. I'll put it right here. Great article. It's a pyramid, like I just stated, sub-max rep superset. So it's kind of like doing a Murph in 10 sets. You do 10 pull-ups, 20 push-ups, 30 squats. Do that 10 times, you got yourself a Murph. But you didn't have to fail on anything, if that's the right number for you. Or maybe do 20 sets, 5, 10, 15. Couple more questions and then I got to go. After your 4-week PST prep program, I had a pretty bad shoulder pain. Okay, I don't have a 4-week PST prep program, I don't think. Is shoulder strength a problem or being overused? I don't know. Everything's relative. Overuse for you may not be overuse for somebody else. So, when you're doing these generic programs, and this is a generic training program, you may have to personalize it for your abilities. Some people have to add reps because it's not hard enough. Some people have to add miles because they need to run more because they're already at a higher level of running. Some people need to do just the opposite, reduce reps and reduce mileage. So, there you go. Could be overused, yes. Are you familiar with GBRS performance program? Is that good for SOF selection? I don't know, but those guys are great. Anything those guys put out is legit. I don't know if they're in, like, you got to think of tactical fitness in 3 phases. There's getting to the training, which means you have to crush a fitness test, right? The PST. There's getting through the training, which means you need to prepare for logs and boats and longer runs and longer swims. So that's a mix of everything, right? And then there's phase 3 of tactical fitness for the operator, maintaining physical abilities to do that job. And they don't look alike. Neither one of those phases look alike. So without knowing what they're doing, I would say they're probably in that phase 3 of tactical fitness, working with active duty operators and former operators primarily. But I could be wrong. You know, do you think boxing, shadow boxing, pad sparring is detrimental to prepare for selection? Yes, I do. Just because I can't tell you how many people I have seen break hands, break their face. You know, I wrote an article on training, and there's multiple things that you should probably not do about 6 months before shipping. That is contact sports, bike riding, like doing like triathlons on a street bike. Seen people crash, break their shoulder, break their head, concussions, you name it. Death, even. Um, what's the other one? Contact sports, martial arts. All of those I have seen people's spec ops dreams go up in smoke because they injured themselves and are now disqualified because they tore something in their you know that won't heal, or they got a concussion and add 6 months to their uh, training process. So look, man, I played football and rugby before I went, and my last 6 months I did not uh, play rugby before I went to Buds, which was good because I always got injured during rugby. Sprained an ankle, which ruins you, even though it's a minor injury, ruins you for swimming. Like you can't even swim without fins, can't swim with fins for a month. It can set you back big time. Let's see. What kind of treading training do you recommend? A lot. In fact, every time we go swimming, which is 5, sometimes 6 days a week, we will warm up with treading or cool down. We'll either warm up with a 500-yard swim and cool down with a 10-minute tread, or flip it upside down. But treading's very important. In fact, sometimes our rest periods are just treading. So we'll do a 50-50, rest for a minute with treading, no hands. That's a great way to do it. So a lot. And also work mobility. In fact, if you haven't seen this article, treading might be a mobility issue, highly recommend you learning about this, because I have seen countless people fail tread tests. Not that they misunderstood what treading was, is that they just couldn't get into a good treading position because of lack of hip, knee, and ankle mobility. All right. So, do you consider jump roping low impact cardio activity? I've never seen you mention it in your articles. Yeah, I don't really do it. I mean, I have done it. I wouldn't consider it high impact, but it's not low impact either. I give it a medium impact, but it works. If you like it, do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. All right, last question. I got to go. I'll give this one to Gary. At what point at Annapolis did you know you were going to Buds? What advice would you give for someone going to the academy to increase their chances of getting selected? I will tell you this. I didn't know I was going until senior year. I had started preparing for it sophomore year. Probably second semester sophomore year, I started training really hard to become a better spec ops candidate. And I was horrible when I first started. Last on the runs, couldn't finish a pyramid. You know, I just I just wasn't good. It took me it took me another year just to become a good candidate, and then go on to SOAS, what we called mini buds at the time. And then that really kind of cemented what I wanted to do. And I had another year to prepare for buds after that. And I didn't find out that I was going to buds until November of my senior year. But if you read an article I wrote on military.com, from plebe to buds, it's one of my Ask Stu articles over there on military.com. How do you go from your plebe year at the Naval Academy to buds? So this might help you with all of the stuff in between that I just mentioned, because I kind of, about 1 minute. encapsulated 4 years of training, pretty much. All right. Yeah, good benchmarks for treading, 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, we usually go for 10. Treading is no joke. Hips don't lie. Absolutely. All right, guys. Hey, I got to go. Sorry to cut it short. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll show some CSS. Um, uh, see some CSS critiques. If you guys want me to critique something of yours, send it to me. You can DM me over on Instagram, or you can email me, stu@stewsmith.com. I appreciate you guys sticking around. If I missed your question, I apologize. Send it to me, stu@stewsmith.com. Happy to answer it over email. But also go check out stewsmithfitness.com for the latest articles and programs like this. stewsmithfitness.com. Save 15% with the Live15 coupon code. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a good one.